lovelies, my name is Jessica and welcome to Makeup.misfit, and here's another episode of Pan Those Eyeshadows. I have thoroughly been enjoying this project. I'm really loving the way that I've been doing it, which if you're not aware, I'm actually rolling 4 shades in each, or working on 4 shades at a time. 3 of those 4 shades actually coming from an eyeshadow palette, and then my 4th shade comes from my singles collection. So each and every month I will be rolling out a single regardless of hitting pan or not. I just want to get usage on my singles and not neglect them as much as they have been over the last few years. But the way that I actually choose the other 3 shades is I randomize a letter from A to Z, and then I go to a list of shades that I have starting with that letter, find out how many shades actually begin with the letter A, and randomize 1 through whatever that number may be to choose the shade that I'll be working on. And I love the way that I'm doing it. It is so much fun. It's a fun little twist and something that not only keeps me motivated, but is like making me excited to roll in new shades each and every time. So I've really been enjoying it. I'm going to continue to do that. I don't know if I'm going to end this project at the end of the year or continue on. We'll see how I'm feeling. I still got quite a few months, but I know that I'm going to continue on this project doing it this way. I've been thoroughly enjoying it, and I hope you have too. So I'm ready to show you guys what my progress has been over the last few months, or after the last few weeks. And you guys, it's pretty good. I'm very excited about it. This is going to be a very good update. So if you haven't seen my hands swatching around here, these are the 4 shades that I have been working on over the last few weeks. Now, I did choose 3 of these shades last month, and they did happen to roll in a very neutral palette here. But that's okay. I don't mind that once in a while. It's kind of an easy go-to look or a shade that I can reach for, and then I don't feel so stuck with the colors that I like to wear, or that I have to wear those during that time period. I like to wear color more in the spring and summertime, but at least I can kind of gravitate towards what I'm feeling instead of feeling like I have to stick with whatever this color palette is. So I've really been enjoying wearing this. There's a few shades in here that I like a lot more than I thought it was going to, but let's get into it. So the very first shade on the top is No Mistakes, and this comes from my Essence Bronze This Way palette. So this one has been in here for the longest. I want to say 2 to 3 months at this point, and I was really just wearing this shade in my brows. For me, come more fall winter time, it's probably a shade that I would wear on my outer corner, but because I really haven't been into a whole lot of dark looks or dark neutral looks, more or less, I've been wearing this just in my brows. So that is how I happen to hit pan. I don't know if you can see it right about there. It's the tiniest little bit. I hit that this morning. I was so excited. I knew it was coming up, but I wasn't quite sure when it was going to happen. So it was still a nice surprise this morning. That took me 21 uses, and that was from the very beginning. This palette had not been touched, never mind just the shade. So I was very excited when I actually had hit pan on here. So I probably will continue to wear this in my brows for the next little while. I'm kind of trying a couple of things out to see what's working for me right now, along with the fact that I actually need to get my brows done. So I probably will still wear this in my brows and expand that pan a little bit for the next bit. But thankfully, it's not a shade that I actually need to focus on anymore, and I can roll something else in place of this. So that is super exciting. So this shade right here is Burning Desire by Pat McGrath. This was rolled in last update, and this comes from a holiday palette. I believe this was 2019, but I'm not 100%. And that shade is this one right here. So this neutral shade, I was very unsure about how I was going to feel about it. Again, this was an untouched shade when I rolled it in last month. So you can obviously see that there's no pan. I know this is going to take quite a while to get to that point, but I'm actually really enjoying this shade. And I've been pairing it with this right here. It's kind of like a duochrome, so I really like wearing just those 2 shades. I actually did it just because I was running late one day and I didn't have a whole lot of time, so I figured why not just blow this out in the crease, throw that all over the lid, and just run out the door. And I really, really liked how that looked. So that's kind of going to be and kind of has been my go-to look for a little bit, and I've actually really been enjoying this. So I'm okay with the fact that this is still going to be in here. I'm really enjoying that Burning Desire shade, blowing it out in my crease, blending it and just even as a one shadow look, it's very, very pretty. And then just topping it off with something else, I've really been liking how it looks. So I'm excited to keep and using this palette, especially since I really had no use on it prior to being into this project. The rest of the palette still isn't getting much use, but as long as one or two of the shades in here is getting some love, then I'm okay with that for now. So next is this pink shimmer shade here, and this was from my ColourPop and Lizzie McGuire palette, and this is the shade Outfit Rememberer. Now this shade, I was really excited when I rolled it in last month as well, and again, it had never been touched, or I had swatched it, but I don't think I ever actually really used it. And look at that baby right there. I've hit pan on this. So I think when I used it, not yesterday, no, two days ago, a couple days ago, I may have hit pan on it without realizing it. And then when I went to reach for it yesterday, I don't know if it was the pan that I saw or if it was just like a little piece of the shimmer from the actual shadow, but I wore it and I expanded it. So I was wearing this a little bit today as well, just all over my lid. So I've expanded it just slightly more, but I'm so excited, you guys. This one took me 20 uses as well. I'll put the actual number up. I checked before I started filming, but it's all on my phone, so I can't quite remember. But this one took a little bit of time, but I was actually kind of surprised, but kind of not. I've panned it was in the beginning of this project, Vitamin C from the Little Ray of Sunshine palette, and that is an all matte palette, so I knew it was going to be different, but that one took me 45 uses. This one took me about half of that, so I was happy that it didn't take me that long. But I was also surprised that it only took me those few uses, considering I only rolled this in, and I really didn't feel like I reached for it as much as I actually did. But I'm very happy that I have a pan in this palette now, and this one was a very pretty shade to wear all over the lid or in my inner corner. I really did enjoy that. And then last but not least, this gold shade here was from my singles collection, and that was a Natasha Denona single. I don't quite remember the shade or the palette that it came from. It may have been the bronze palette, and I think it was one of those promo codes that you got with Sephora. So I wore this shade, and no joke, you guys, after 3 uses, I hit pan. I was so surprised. Like, I knew, I'm going to show you guys what it's looking like right now. And you can bet I've definitely used that way more than 3 times. But look at how thin that pan actually is. It is very tiny. So I knew it wasn't going to take a lot, but I was not expecting 3 uses and to actually hit pan in here. So the way that I was wearing this was just all over the lids, but I found that I had to use a glitter glue with it. And I have my NYX glitter glue. I just couldn't remember where I had placed it. So I finally found it, and it stuck a lot better to my lids. And because I wear glasses, I found that the flecks from the shadow actually got onto my glasses, so they were always messy. So the glitter glue helped the fallout there, which was very nice because I wasn't having to clean up gold glitter off of my glasses all the time. But 3 uses. This was like within just a few days. This was the very first pan I had hit out of these, this grouping, this color story. I was very excited about it. But again, 3 uses. I was very, very surprised. Woo! So that means that shade is being rolled out as well. So out of these 4, I only have one staying in, and that is Burning Desire. So I am ready to roll in my new color story. So I'm just going to take this off. I'm going to swatch Burning Desire, which is the one that's staying in, and then we are going to choose 2 letters because I have 2 palettes being rolled out. So I'm going to choose 2 letters. We'll figure out what shade I'll be working on, and then I'm going to randomize my singles as well. So got my other phone here that I'm randomizing my letters on right here. Okay, so the alphabet. Okay. So we are going to randomize the letter G and M. Okay, so I'm gonna need to throw my glasses on for this one to figure out what is what and what I've got. I have everything in this notebook in front of me. I tried putting it into a spreadsheet. I think I mentioned that last update. It just wasn't working out. Wasn't quite for me. So the letter G, G, I have 23. Okay, so we're gonna randomize 1 through 23. Whoops. Okay, we're gonna start this over because I didn't realize it was in there. Okay, so we're going to clear history. I don't think there has been anything in here that I've used so far. No. Okay. So anyways, 1 through 23, and let's randomize the number 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So Globetrotter. Oh, by Maybelline Nudes of New York. I actually just got that palette for Christmas. So that's exciting. I was actually looking at it the other day, thinking how I haven't quite reached for that yet, and I would like to. So that's exciting. So Globetrotter by Maybelline Nudes of New York. So if you want to see, this is the G, this is 23, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So Globetrotter, Maybelline Nudes of New York. So that's how I'm doing it. It takes a little bit of time to flip through all of this, but hey, it is what it is, and I don't mind it. L. So M, there's 25. All right, so done. So we have 1 through 25 now. That 4 was the one that we had previously rolled. We're getting number 24. So that is, Mink Magnet by my Buxom Custom palette. So here's 25 and 24. So this palette was actually in one of my projects. I had it just as a 10 use. I told myself I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with it afterwards, but it's being rolled into this project. So let me go get those 2 palettes. I'm going to check out what shades they are. I have a feeling, well, they're both neutral palettes, so it's going to be more of a neutral color story. And then we will roll for my single. So I'll be right back. All right, so I have the palettes with me. So this is the Maybelline Nudes of New York palette, and this is my Buxom Custom palette. So Globetrotter, I think I need to keep my glasses on because I'm blind and I can't see. Globetrotter, oh, okay, this is this reddish brown shade right here in the bottom corner. So that's what we're going to be working with. So let's see how close. Oh no, it's definitely more of a red. I wasn't quite sure how close it was going to be to Burning Desire, but it's not even close at all. So that works out. And then my Buxom Custom palette. So if you hadn't seen the project that this palette was in, this is what the color story looks like. So it's very neutral. I actually have to take each of the shades out to figure out what shade I'm working on. But it's Mink Magnet. So let's just start on this side and we'll work our way across. And, oops. Mink Magnet. Oh, that worked out quite well. So this is actually the very first shade. So you know what? I'm actually excited about this because when I had this in my other project, I was really focusing more on like these couple of shades here. And this one has some usage on it. You're not really going to be able to tell, but there is some usage on it from when I had first put this palette together. So I'm excited because I never actually reached for this, even though I wanted to keep it. That's pretty. I think it's going to be an interesting color story for July as we're in the middle of summer and I'm getting the very neutral shades, but that's okay. It is what it is, and it just lets me play around with whatever colors I want, whenever I want. So now we get to choose my single shade. So I have all of the singles that are not in projects or anything like that in this palette. The singles that I have previously worked on are in here. And then this magnetic palette is where I'm keeping the single that I'm working on each time. So I have to take this one out, clean that palette. But because all of my singles are in here, there's actually 4 singles that I will not be including in here. So if you're watching, I believe it's my Are You Afraid of the Pan? These 4 shades right here are in that project. So I still have a few more uses on it, so I'm not going to be including those into this project, but everything from here to here will be eligible. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 shades that I can choose from. And they are all neutral except for a couple of them. So we are going to randomize 1 through 17 now. 17. 15, yeah. And let's see what number we got. Lucky number 8. it's a pink. So here's 5, this is 10, so this is number 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. So actually, I'm excited about this one because this is by Terra Moon and it's matte, and I have not tried their mattes yet. A couple of their shimmer shades are sitting in this palette right here, but I'm actually excited about this because that is one of my favorite shades of pink. And I wish I kept the color story on my other hand because this is very similar to what I was just working on, except for the fact that this was more of a gold shimmer and then this was a lighter shimmery pink. So the color story definitely has not changed, just ever so slightly, but not enough to actually be a brand new color story, but that's okay. We're gonna keep going with it. I had some really good luck with the color story that I just rolled out, so I'm hoping I'll have the same luck with this one. Just a few little changes, but I can still use everything the exact same way and get those looks that I've been working with and enjoying. So I'm actually happy with this because I can just continue doing my looks the way that I've been doing them. So that is what my color story looks like for this month. I'm happy with it, even though it's very, very similar. I am happy with it, and I'm really excited to try out this Terra Moon's matte shade because I haven't actually used a Terra Moon matte before. So I'm very excited about that, and I'm really excited to see this Globetrotter shade because I really haven't worked with that Maybelline palette either. So I'm curious to see how those are going to work together and how much I enjoy them. But that is it. That's my color story. That is it. I'm very excited about what these next few weeks are going to be like. So stay tuned if you're interested, and I will see you guys all later. Bye.